Hey guys, and welcome back to Reborn 101. This is definitely the last paint section. We're just going to touch on a few things real quick, and then I'm going to do their nails, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen from there. Um, just waving a little bit. I definitely don't have a doll of the day, definitely because I don't want to take away from this baby being the doll of the day. First things first, this is definitely 7 or 8 coats in. Probably more likely like 9 to be honest with you. I kind of lost count. I did get the burnout. I did have to stop. I did go back and start over again because I didn't want to mess up her color. So what I have done off cam is put her eyes in. And to put her eyes in, I'll show you real quick while I'm talking. To put her eyes in was very difficult. It literally took me about 30 minutes and I kept getting frustrated, but I definitely wanted to take my time. First thing first, we're protecting the paint from now on. So everything that I do going forward is in an effort to keep her paint safe. So having nails on my own fingers, I have to be very careful. Make sure that you're always touching just the pad of your hands. I definitely tell my buyers the same thing. Don't let her get scraped or what have you because it's going to actually scrape the paint. Don't just consider it just like the paintings I have on my wall. The way we protect those is with a cloth sheet, a silken cloth rather, and it keeps the paint from getting rubbed on and rubbed off in transport. Well, this baby is always going to be technically in transport because you're going to want to handle your baby. But the good thing is, the longer this paint sits on her body, the harder, and the more true it becomes. It's a process called curing, and everything that you paint has to cure. The rule of thumb technically is you're not supposed to paint on a rainy day. I'm not really sure about how that works, but apparently there's got to be some kind of truth to it because like I said, the other doll paint kind of rubbed off kind of quick, and it was raining. So, but she has plenty of time to cure because we have to actually get her hair, get her rooted, and then get pick out outfits and stuff like that. So, if you were just curious about the painting, this is probably going to be our last sesh. It was great hanging out with you. But let you know that I do have sharp things that I use to carefully put her eyes in. And I have this beautiful, beautiful sleeper to put her carefully in after we get her nails and lip glossing part of this session done. We're definitely done with the chest plate. I'll show you the back, can't show you the front. But her chest plate, we're not going to even bother today. But um, there are a lot of theories to doing the nails. One of them is to make sure that to use the nail color provided, which this is what we're going to do today because one, it was provided, and two, I want to see what it's like. So this is my first time. We're sharing this experience together. The secondly, you definitely want to make that your last step. In the heat set, they do go back and reheat the doll after they do nails and matting. I usually, when I do my heat set, I usually make that step the last step to the oh, I can't talk. I make it the last step when I do my last coat of skin tone. I literally let it dry overnight, and then I come back and hit it with the nails and let that dry for about an hour, and then I pop them in the oven. Okay, and this is what another artist suggested, that you take the skin tone of the lightest skin tone, the flesh 7, I believe, in Genesis Heat Set, but you use that as your nail polish instead of nail polish. And what it does give it a more realistic look. But we are going to use what we have and see what it looks like. So we will definitely, this is her being manicured. You see her nails coming so far, but they're not tipped. That's the thing you're trying to avoid is making it look like it's tip tipped. And you definitely, again, as always, I can't reiterate enough. Please take your time and just you're literally taking your smallest brush that you can find with the least amount of bristles, getting the tip of them wet, and sliding the line across. Now we don't have. Let me see if I can put it where you can actually see the one I just did. Yeah, we don't have naturally straight nails. So if you miss and make it kind of crooked or what have you, that's fine because that's kind of how our nails grow. That's kind of what happens, especially with little ones. They kind of pop their nails and they're active, so their nails are not going to be manicured and straight unless you're that parent that's sitting up there and actually doing their nails every night. There even should be cases of missing nail where the nail is chipped off. And my rule of thumb, if you're timid about painting it, don't. If it feels too small, don't worry about the paint. I mean, it doesn't have to have a nail tip. And if it feels too small to paint, it's probably not going to look right unless you just want to microscopically take your time and do her little nails. And that's one foot, and we're going to go ahead and continue while I'm gossiping. Our next classes will be Reborn 102, and we will definitely hit on hair, the process, choices, and my personal preferences. And definitely, I make sure I reiterate they're my personal preferences. You might have a different opinion on that. Um, so we'll definitely talk on that. We will talk about directional routing, what that exactly entails. We will touch on actual routing the doll's hair, needles you can use, needles, suggestive needles, and needles that I use, and why I use them. Again, like I said, it's definitely my class. So I definitely going to show you what I use, and you can always go back and oh, that was way too thick. You can always go back and, like I said, you perfect your art by finding out what works for you. Um, that's the whole key to it. You and if what I do works for you, then wonderful. If what I do does not work for you, that's cool too. You can always choose a different method. Learn your method. That's what practicing your skill comes where practicing your skill comes in handy because nobody's gonna do the same thing the same way. That's in any field, even in when I was working in culinary, the main thing there was like find your own identity as far as your cooking styles. Nobody cooks the same way. You might get the same results, but you might do it a little bit different. No one preps the same way, etc., etc., etc. Um, I even did a different prep um, fabricating of a fish, totally different from how the chef of my culinary class showed us, and everybody was like, "You're doing it wrong." And but I had a fillet cut, and my student chef was like, "Well, she has a fillet cut, and it's clean. There's no bones. Blah blah blah." So he was like, "That's good. Like you can learn do her method or do mine." So they actually got a bonus lesson because they learned how to do it two different ways. So when you're doing reborning, if you're doing it for cash or you're doing it for your personal, you just really want this doll, but you don't want to spend the money, and you said I could do that myself, then you definitely need to hone your art. Definitely want to reiterate a few things while I get this done. Don't rush, ever rush. That's first thing. Find a kit that you like. I would recommend a smaller kit for your first go at it, and then as you feel comfortable with it, work to a larger kit or a more expensive kit. Um, pick your paint choices. I would recommend air dry at first, just because Genesis Heat Set is a whole different beast. And if you do go with Genesis Heat Set, definitely hop on to YouTube and find someone who's actually showing you how to actually do it. Take your time, make sure you're layering. The doll is not gonna turn into a beautiful masterpiece in one day unless you're rushing. And then you always, you never do blue or pink first, pink or red first, because blue or red first, because it will stain your doll. So those are some of the main things to work with. And layering, layering, layering. Patience, patience, patience. Great lighting, clean station. That was done. That was quick. I told you it wouldn't take that long to do. That's why I wasn't going to rush and make a whole video. Now we're working on the glossing of the doll. Most times, what I do is I put that part on when I am actually about to assemble the doll. But because this type of doll has to be assembled so vicariously, like you have to really get it going. I'm definitely gonna go ahead and get this gloss in, get it settled so it can do like the rest of the paint and rest. So where I put my gloss and where I've seen others put their glosses, that's kind of where I learned from. Is we're gonna switch brushes. I almost messed up. That would have sucked something awful if I had painted her eyes white. But anyway, so eyes and lips white. So anyway, they are like put it around the eye, on the lips, on the nail tips. Okay, and I never thought about putting it around the eye, but it does give it such a more lifelike appearance that I'm going to try to my best to do this on cam for you. But like I said, makeup skills are going to be your friend if you have them. You know, Reborn is going to be amazing because you know how to layer your colors probably way better than most people, and you know when to stop. You know what looks good. You know when they say I'm trying to get a natural look. You know exactly what that means. And there's her little lips. I did add one more single layer on her lip color, and I did have to fight the get the eyes in and rub some of her the color around her eyes off, trying to get the eyes in. But and that was being extremely careful, so you definitely need to take your time when you're doing this. And what I do also put it on that little inner part of the eye, where the tear duct would be. And voila, we have your eyes done, and they look just wet enough for her to look like she's alive. Now, the rest of the doll, the rest of it is going to be on those nail tips, and start, of course, from the one you started with, and you literally just wiping down. It's literally like painting nails, but it gives it such a realistic look, and that's basically all you really want to do is give it a realistic look. Don't want to overdo it. You don't want to overgloss them. Now, back to recap. Make sure that you are keeping your station clean. Make sure between you cleaning your brushes between sessions of paint. Make sure if you're burned out, you stop. Don't keep going. Um, and have fun. Basically, get you some good music. Like I said, especially on the long ones, like doing the the colors, the flesh tones. You definitely are going to be sitting there a while, get you some good music, a good soda or a cup of water or a bottle of water, and just zone out and get your doll done. Get your nails painted, get your colors in, and you definitely are. It's going to be worth it. So as we take our time, what I will do, and I'm gonna have to do it off cam because I want to let this dry. Next thing I'm gonna do is protect my work and put it in this nice little cute outfit. Um, Definitely can't stuff her, so we definitely are going to leave that alone. We don't want to jump the gun, and we definitely will have a whole video on that part. So I hope you stick with me for that. And then the last video, the last section of video, Reborn 103, is going to be really cool because it's going to be the business side of it. If you ever, if and if you're not into the business part, then I will probably not see you after the hair part. But if you do stick around for the business part, we will hit on where to go to sell the dolls, how why we're gonna charge as much, um, what happens when they sell, where to how to advertise them, and that's my favorite part because that means we have to go. We're forced to go shopping. Yes, that's my favorite part ever. I love shopping. So So, guys, if you are just in it for the paint, it was awesome hanging out with you these last couple of videos. If you are gonna hang with me for the hair, then we're definitely will be in touch fairly soon. I'm going to have a procedure done tomorrow, and then I will try to, depending on how fast I recover from it, I'm definitely gonna start on my hair videos rather, and we'll get Miss Savannah rooted, and then we'll turn around and assemble Miss Savannah. That's how we're going to end that part of it, is with her actually assembled. And then, if you stick with me, we're going to sell Savannah, and hopefully, it's going to work out pretty great. And you get to see this process from beginning to end. And then you can make the sound decisions of whether it's something you want to do or something you want to make like a side hobby, or something you're like, nah, I'm good. I just really wanted to make a doll. Either way, it was great hanging with you. And if you sticking with me, I'll see you next video. And if this was your last thing because you just really wanted to watch the painting, it was great hanging with you. And just check out some other videos. I'm pretty sure you'll still find other things you'll like. And we'll see you later. Bye.